Hey everyone, it's Jordan. Today I'm going to be doing my January wrap-up. So I usually have read a lot of books in January. I don't usually read more than 2 or 3 books like last year. I can't remember that's exactly how many I've read, but January was a good read month and I'm honestly happy about that, and I haven't had a good, like usually winter is like my slow reading months, but January was a great reading month. I've read 7 books and I'm just really excited to talk about them, so let's get to the books that I've read in January. The first book that I read in January is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This is a very popular book series that is about a girl who's been sent to become one of the soldiers called Grisha, because she has powers that she didn't know about, and then she learns everything about what's been going on with the Grisha and all that. I've read that this has been my TBR for so long, and I honestly keep questioning myself. If you guys watch my vlog where I have you guys on Twitter and on Instagram to pick my first reads of 2021, and this was one of them, and I knew it was going to be had the most votes, and I'm really happy that I got to read this because I did not know that I was going to like this book as much as I did, and I really like the characters and I really like the world, and I know that Dark Lane is like many people's favorite book villains, and I'm just really intrigued by him because he reminds me of other villains of books that I've read in the past, and I really enjoy this book, and I can't wait to read the rest of the Grisha trilogy, and I know this is becoming a TV show, which I'm also excited about because I know everybody's been talking about it, and I give this 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in January is One Dark Throne by Kendara Blake. This is another one that has been picked by you guys on Instagram, I think. Yeah, it was been picked in that video I was talking about, and this is a sequel to Three Dark Crowns, and Three Dark Crowns is followed by 3 sisters who are in coming of age that they compete to become queen, but they have to kill each other to death until one stands. So it's like a very fantasy world, the Hunger Games, and I really like the world, and I know I gave the first book 4 stars. I listened to it on audiobook because I wasn't liking the audiobook, but after reading this, it was a bit of a slow reading because I haven't read the first book in like probably a year or 2 before I picked this up, but after reading more of it, I'm starting to like the book more, and I'm really curious on where the story will go on, and yeah, I enjoy this as much as the first book, and I give this 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in January is Frozen Beauty by Alexa Highlighter. This is about about 3 sisters who has strong bond, and then one of them ends up getting murdered, and the boy next door gets framed for the murder, and that's all I'm going to tell you guys because it's a mystery novel. I really enjoyed this, and I've read her previous books, the Spindle Fire duology, which I really liked, and this one really was a bit of a slow reading, but I really liked the characters, and I really liked how it's told in different perspective, like takes place in the past and in the present when they're trying to solve the murder, and I really liked that. I really liked the characters, and I also really liked the plot twist. I did not see it coming. I literally was guessing on who was the murderer. I do not like doing that when it comes to mysteries, but sometimes I like feel really suspicious on certain characters, and then I was like, what the heck, and I didn't see it coming. So I really enjoy this as much as her previous books, and I give this 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in January is You're Welcome Universe by Wendy Gardner. This is about a girl who gets kicked out of deaf school. She's a deaf student, but she gets kicked out of deaf school for drawing graffiti, and then she's forced to move into all hearing school, and then the story goes from there. I really enjoy this book. I really like the perspective. I never read a book about a deaf character before until I've read this one, and I really liked that. I really liked how when she makes new friends, they try to communicate through text because she's deaf, and I know that, and I really liked how the characters that the people that she meets want to try and learn sign language, which I also really like, and I've been wanting to try sign language myself just because it's the only language that I want to learn it, and I only know a little bit of sign language, which I do like how throughout the book you say oh, she's citing a sentence and all that, and I really like that. And also there's some perspectives in there and I did not expect, which I also give it a plus. And this was really quick too, so I think it took me 2 days to read this, but I really enjoy this, and I'm really curious about her Wendy Gardner's other book that just came out maybe last year or 2 years ago, and I give this book, and I really enjoy this book overall, and I give this 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I've read in January is Finale by Steffi Gerber, which is the last book of the Caraval series, and I'm sad that it's the last book, and I finally have read this ever after, I don't know how long it took me to read this, but if you haven't read the first book's about 2 sisters who get invited to Caraval, but one of the sisters gone missing, so Scarlett, the main character, goes to Caraval to search for her sister, and of course each book gives different characters' perspective. Like the first book gives Scarlett's perspective, for example, and then the Legendary, which is the second book, you get her sister's perspective, and in this one you get both of the sisters' perspectives, which I really enjoyed a lot. I listened to this on audiobook, and I honestly about to cry as I was reading, especially towards the end, and I was like, what the heck's happening? And I'm just like, I honestly was afraid something bad will happen to the characters that I love, and I literally, what I honestly was I got confused because they were talking about like the character's background, which not sure if they mentioned it in the previous books, but it just kind of confused me, so that's the only thing that took out the rain, but I still love the series overall, and I'm just can't wait for Stephanie Garber's new book that's coming out later this year, and I give this 4 out of 5 stars. And the next book that I've read in January is Alicia in Atlantis, The Forbidden Veil by Natalie Lane. This is about a girl who runs into a frog monster, and then she ends up running into someone in Atlantis, and then she ends up going there, and then she finds out that there's something about her family's past that she didn't know about, and I've read this as an e-arc on NetGalley, and I got to read it, and it's not released until March, and I really enjoyed it. I really like the characters, I really like the world, and I honestly just really like a really good middle grade book, and it was a lot of fun, and I really, like I said, I really like the characters, I really like the world, and I really like the dynamics of the book itself, and of course I'm really hoping to get my own copy because I really enjoyed it so much, and yeah, I give this book 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I've read in January is Always and Foreverlarging by Jenny Han. If you haven't read the first book, To All the Boys I Loved Before, it's about a girl who writes letters to her crushes just to get over her feelings, and then the letters were mysteriously sent to them, and the story goes from there. And this is the last book of the series, and oh my gosh, and I know this was not my official TBR, but I just wanted to read it before the movie comes out, and I love this so much. I really love, I love all the characters, and I love how the story wrapped up, even though I didn't want it to wrap up, and I cried. I was teary-eyed at the end. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this end, and I love Larging, and I love Peter, and I love all the other characters, and I honestly probably will reread the books whenever I feel like it, just because I love the story so much. And yeah, and I give it, this is like the only 5-star read throughout January, but that's okay because I think January was still a good read month for me, and again, I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. So that's all for my January wrap up. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below what you've read in January. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. Also, you can follow me on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, which all links will be down below for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!